Hello, everybody. We welcome you to the session on Spring Boot and the Azure Web Apps. And I'll be the speaker, and Poonam will be the host for me today for the session. I think it's going to be a very good session from my side because I prepared no slide today, but I'm going to be talking more of the Spring Boots, all the notes that I did, all the things that I learned today will be shared here. So, what do you, Poonam, give an introduction of the community?
Hi guys, welcome to yet another meetup by Azure Developer Community. So as you can see on my screen, um, we have this page for the community. You can check it out on azdev.confirm.com and you can even join in. You can become an organizer or a speaker. It will help you grow in whichever path you want to follow. And if you can see, we already have 7,600 plus members. We have a reach of 100 plus cities, and this number is increasing day by day. So we are a very strong community with people helping each other, trying to grow. And so here's a map of what all cities we cover, and you can have a list of city-wise list of all the upcoming meetups that are coming on, or what are the partnering communities that we have. So we have many good communities associated with us. Pi Ladies Bangalore chapter, for example, and you can also get featured here as a speaker, as an organizer, whatever way you like. You just have to be a part of this community and then grow as a whatever path you choose. So today's talk is on Spring Boot with web apps by Vishwas. Vishwas is an active member of our group. If you see, he has so many talks lined up, and today's talk is Spring Boot with web apps. Over to you, Vishwas.
Thank you, Poonam. Thank you so much for introducing me. And guys, one more thing. There are a lot of upcoming events which will be coming from our side. Do join it. Do join this community hustle that we are part of, and also make sure that you learn something new beyond what you can reach every day. And this is the new event that we are planning on 11th of August. So stay tuned on the meetup page, the Azure Developer Community Bangalore chapter meetup page, where we'll be talking more of the Azure ML, ML Run, and the other aspects here. And also, let's just start with an introduction about like what is the Spring Boot useful for, and also let's just think of like every problem statement is a chaos. Like you just build a system and you see that every time there is okay. Let me just give you an introduction to me. I'm Vishwas Narayan. I'm a podcaster. I do a lot of podcasts with a lot of techies, and speaking about tech is what I have as a passion. Every day I love to speak about tech. If you want to join me in the talk, this is my website, axterdo.web.app. Just join in, just take a look at what I do. And there are a lot of other things which are like there. And you can book a meet if you want. You can just hop in and you can start learning something new. So let me just give you a quick intro of what it is all about. Like everything is a REST API today. Like whatever you do, you just build it in a form factor of an API and you just throw it on the cloud or on the on-premises system or else anything you can afford to get. Like there are multiple clouds, there are hybrid clouds, there are lot and lot of private and public cloud, lot of things. So right now there are different layers of development. Like there can be a layer of software which can be developed using React or an Angular. There can be a layer of software which can be developed using a Go. There can be a software which can be developed in other language also. So Java was something which was very cool during those times. And when you see the problem statements, IAC and pass, I think there are a lot of things coming up these days. And there are no code platforms like Trinity, which was recently announced by Apple. And AutoML is pretty amazing in terms of doing what is available as a no code platform for the ML here. And if you see all these problem statement that we had, everything was all the blue or the bluish green things here probably just says like the things which were being managed by the engineers who are on the premises. who are developing the software. At every time, architecting a solution was something which was more and more of an emphasis. And people found out ways in which frameworks are supposed to be built. There are packages which can be built. Of course, at the end of the day, what you do is you package it as an exe file and you sell it to a person, like exporting the software and things like that. So now Pivotal came with a solution in which Spring Boot as an open source platform came out with a huge disruption in the industry where it's still used. There was something called a Spring Core, but now it's Spring Boot, which is just an easy form factor where you have everything as a file system. It's a model view controller, MVC kind of a file system that you get in. But I started my journey of learning this Spring Boot when it was announced by this blog. It was suggested to me by one of the speakers in the previous section who just gave out the talk on Cosmos DB. His name is Preetham Banerjee. You guys can check out the Cosmos DB talk, which has been done last time. And this is an amazing blog post written by Beld, and trust me, one of the best blogs that I can see about the Spring Boot. Everything is like given in an order, and probably you after this, I don't think you guys need to study a documentation or else anything like that. So, what is a POM? Product Object Manager. So you guys can go here, POM and POM full form. Okay, I can do it as Project Object Model, which is basically you are basically designing an entire project as an XML file, and you're just throwing in and saying that, okay, this is what I require, this is what you should be doing, this is what should be installed on my system, and everything will be told in the further sessions also. And don't get too fancy about this technology. This technology is also a kind of an not so handy if you are a very newcomer to this technology. Like you don't know Java. Like exactly 20 to 25 days before I didn't learn Java in my engineering, and I didn't love it at all. Trust me, I didn't love it at all. So I left it off, and 25 days before I just wrote my Hello World in Java once again and I started learning it. And this is what it is. And this is a kind of a technology where you require a lot of practices, and you should also go through a lot of case studies and different errors which the people have got. There is manifestation error, there are other things. I'll be showing that in detail and in core with all the technologies. And one more thing, all these are the basic concepts. I hope that all of you know some of the basic concepts like REST API endpoints, and things like that. And there are a lot of things which are coming, like Docker is not supported by Kubernetes. What will happen? Trust me, nothing is going to happen, because most of the infrastructure in the industry, as soon as the Docker came in, everybody started migrating it. Like this is a deep learning ML containerization examples, which is from the Azure and the MLs. Azure ML in the containers, also Azure ML, Azure Cognitive Services on the containers has also been here. So you need not have to worry about containers will be gone forever. The containers will be there. Docker will be there. Kubernetes will be there. And everything will be as cool as what it is. So don't worry about that. Everything will be fine. And I think I need to show you this. I think probably if you are an professional developer in the space of Spring Boot, I think probably, or the Maven stack, Mern stack, or anything that you're looking for, probably you're going to be a part of this. I don't think I can work in that very core, but I think probably I can't do that. Like, if you want to literally learn more about this, I think this is the best repository that I can really suggest, because I got a lot of insights about what is this technology all about. I think I sent that. Yes, I sent that. So this is where this GitHub actually gives you a lot of insight about like plugins, the authentication, and everything. So let's just move on with, all right, stop this introduction. So this is a kind of a simple app that I have been building right now, and I think most probably it's going to be about discussing what is there and what is not there for the Azure Web Apps. Actually, I'll be going through a topic which is also kind of a GitHub Actions kind of a thing, where I'll show you two use cases where build and the deploy happens, build happens and the deploy doesn't happen. So this will be the two things that I'll be showing, and probably I'll also be saying you what was the reason behind it. And it's very easy to start with your Spring Boot journey. As a beginner, I felt this was so easy to do because everything has been an initializer here. You can just go here, select whatever you want, and there are some things that you need to learn before you hop in. Like this is a Java language. You can use Groovy, Kotlin. Everything is supported in IntelliJ, so don't worry about it. And also, it's also supported in your uh, regular Eclipse IDE also, so you guys can get to know that, and you can see which is the bootstrap version of like what is the Spring Boot version that you're looking for. Okay, you can go with the latest and the greatest version, or else you can go with a snapshot or an M1 version of it, and you can just go on and write whatever it is like Vishwas. You can cite demo Azure community, and you can go on with the description, you can go on with the packages, and you can go on with like Azure versions of all the things that you can look at. Like you can go with an Java 8, Java 11, Java 16, that is all the stable version of the Java that is released by the Oracle. And you can add some dependencies, and this makes our life very easier. Like you can go Kafka, all the messaging and the queuing support, everything is there. Cloud Bus, Cloud Stream, everything. But I would be going for web because it's the best way. And if you want, you are a React developer who knows React and you want to learn Spring Boot for a backend development, probably you can check out this. But this is what I would suggest. And if you generate this, there will be a code which will be generated, and it goes and sits down in one of your folder, and this is where everything comes up. And right now let me just show you some things which are very common and very common practices. I think probably Spring Boot and Azure, and Spring Boot has an support for a lot and lot of packages. You guys can go on and check out here what you build and what you need. Everything will be listed out here, the XML file, the way you have to configure it. All these same commands will be found in here. Oh, it's already there, so I need not have to go ahead here. So all the commands that you are oh, it went off. Fine. I have it on the yeah, I have it in my local system, so I can show you that it takes a pretty long time for writing these commands here and there, and also executing it. So it's the same thing. It's there on my local system. I'll show you that. So whatever is there has been documented in such a way that what is required for you. So you guys can go on and check out this link here, so that it will be more easier for you in the future to get to know what is happening in the world of development. So yes, it's here. So yes, and also this is our community, so do check it out, join our community. And we are actually 1,000 plus members, and we are planning to grow to 2,000 members in another 3 months probably. Make it fast and make us happy, right? Where do I start? A lot of resources, man. Okay, fine. Why is this coming up once again? I think I need to come out with one feature which is like authentication, the Spring Boot security aspects, and this is for the Spring Boot security. I think probably everything has been already written in the Spring Boot. It's somehow like getting to know what is it hidden behind, and you have to just get to know, okay, what should I be doing? So I think this blog here says about how you can really manage an MVM project with lot of security layers, and how to not give a chance for an SQL injection or something like that. Probably everything is being documented here. You can really copy most of the code here, and you can start fiddling around like checking here and there what is happening here, what is happening there, and so on. So I think probably this is the best blog from Dale, and you can just go and check it out. So I'll show you the GitHub repository. It's not that complex. This is the same GitHub repository that I'm talking about. Just clone it, good to go with it. So this is the repository that I'm talking about. So you guys can go and check this repository. That it's a simple control function that I've added here. So anybody can do it. So this file structure, I'll be talking about it right now, or actually later. So I'll go to the src folder. There are file system. This is where the model view controller comes into the picture, where every function is written as a class, which is a file inside the Java, and you can see really execute the same files using the Java jar commands, and you can really go on with it. So it takes a lot of time, so let's not do it. And I'll open it in my Visual Studio Code here. The same repository that I've pushed is here. So it's simple. What I did was the same old initialization that I did through the Spring Boot. What I added was one more class of controller, and this home controller.java was written. And right now, what this is like, this is an example demo where it has a controller, and this has a get mapping function which is written here. And this is actually a REST controller also, where you're basically saying, okay, there's an REST API sitting here, do this. Okay, I'll show you an example of what can be the other framework for your REST API. Don't get me wrong, this is an R Cascade program that I wrote using Flask for the last session on web apps. And this was pretty simple actually. Like you go to the Flask. If I get the repository, I'll share it in the comment section after the session. So do check this out back so you guys can work on Flask a little bit and with the R Cascade. So this is for R Cascade for the face. This is for the eye. This is for the smile, not for the lips. If I do this, it detects the through a bounding box of red. If I'm just like a normal guy, just frowning, it will not detect. So this is where you leverage the fact that there is a REST API which can be built using one language. And that's what I took as a demo application, and that's where I'm calling it for run and the debug through this process. This is not written by me, it's already written from the VS Code. It's like IntelliSense, so it comes out here. So the demo application is here. So there is a function which is called through this, and there are a lot of classes which are defined within it. And also this will be a separate file system to handle every controller that you are writing. I think probably I can, sorry for the typo, Spring. I'll change it there also. So that's the bad practice, but don't do it because I don't have time. So I'm doing it. So now we have got to know what's the core, what's the code structure. Let's just get inside your Spring Boot application. It's very simple. Just I can't fork this, but you guys can get to know me what I'm doing. So right now, let's just go and do. And thanks to Deepak Pal for giving me the subscription, because I lost my credit card and I lost the pay-as-you-go model, and nothing was available for me. And last minute, I had to ask him for the subscription. And very simple, just go here. You need not have to create the resource group earlier. You can create it later. Let me just, it's here. So it's Vishwas, Narayan, demo, Spring. Kind of a thing like this. Just keep it as big as what you think, or as small as what you think. So it's been created. And let me just say 1, 2, 3 Spring app demo. Okay, it's available. So you can containerize an application. You can add it back to the Docker Hub, and you can push it through here, go here, and in the next column, you have to go for a single container quick start. It's a general nginx function that you will be doing, or else what you can do is images and the tags. Actually, you have to do through the container registry that is available through the Microsoft Azure Container Registry. If not, there are options where you can really go back and get the Python. For Python, I did the same, but for Java, you need to containerize it and get it through the Docker Hub and also through the Azure Container Registry. So let's just not go through that complexity. And I've used Java 8. That's what I chose there also. That's what I'll be choosing here. And the catch here is there are Tomcat, there is JBoss, there is embedded web servers there. I'll say you when you have to choose a Tomcat. Tomcat is chosen when you are running it as an var package. When it's a simple jar package, Java archive, this is what jar means. Uh, jar in Java. Jar is a package which is formatted typically for all these. Okay, that's too academic. So you guys can go through the premium. You guys can create it. Wait for it. What happens is next you will be uh, next it will be created with a command like this: deployment completed, setting up the deployments. I'll show you how it is done also. So you guys can go here. Remember this, every time it's all about left side, it's all about the resources, right side, it's all about what you have to see for this application. All right, this is what my application stats look like: the performance, the request, the response time, and everything. You can look at it here, and you guys can go here and go for the deployment center. What you can do is, I'll disconnect and I'll show you what it is also, and I should know which is the repository. This is a Spring Remote web application that I've kept here. So this is what I'll show you how it is done. So I'll disconnect it. I'll save the workflow file. That is what it generated through this main.vi spring.ml, and this will be the secrets, and this will be the one which will be there, and the working code is this much. Whatever I've done there, I think I will be showing you guys with one with after deployment, and after one will be with editing that. So this is what it is. So if I run it now, probably it will be running, because I think GitHub Actions has to show an action where I have removed it. Oh, it will not show. Don't worry about that. And I can go for the remote repository. Where is this remote? Spring Web. And I'll go for the main branch. Every commit that I did was for the main branch. So that is what you do. And if you see the preview file, it will still remain the same. You guys can go on with it. And I'm overwriting the existing work file. That means whatever I have here will be overwritten once again. If I save it, the setting up deployment action is taking place here, and it has already taken place. So right now, when I go look back at the same repository and the same actions which I have done, so right now this is still processing. Since I removed it and added it the same repository, it's still going to be same. It's still going to work on the same. See, I think the last one that I did was 5 hours ago. It took me 1 hour 21 seconds to build the process. I will show you one more. Don't get amazed by it. If it's building, why it's not getting deployed, it happens. The build happened, but the deployment didn't happen. I'll show you why also. So, and it will take a time. So let me just give you a quick tour about the file structure and everything. This is for the same repository that I did, but it didn't work. This is the same VI 456 repository that I'm talking about. I think probably I'll just run it here, and oh, it's already came. Oh, because I had not done it. So now I'll show you with this also. So deployment is happening. It's deploying to the production. Oh, it already happened. See, I clicked from the here, and it just directed me there. So this is where your production environment can be accessed. There are different layers for it. You can have different branches. You can have a test team having a different branch. You can have an ops team having a different batch. and you can give it different GitHub actions for different people, and different people can deploy it. That's what I told, right? Many people have given access to the production. I think probably this is where. And before committing and releasing it for the production, there are billions and billions of parameters that companies look for. So we have to keep that in mind also. So I think this has been deployed, and whatever you install, right? Whatever you install as a file system in your entire repository, I think I can't zoom in too much, but let me just, I can't do that. So this is where your system has an access to all the softwares that is required and the version of the Java. This is 8, right? 1.8 is what has been taken care. And this is an Tomcat version. This was run as an war package. So that's where it has come out as something like Tomcat. If it wasn't, it would have been the regular Java SE package. So right now, wait, the quick, how many quick starts did I open? Oh no, it was just refreshed. Fine. I think the same one. That's what I. So you guys can go on the Azure portal and you guys can start running it. So it still runs the same way. You need not have to worry about, okay, I'm doing something else and what is happening. So that's what your MVC and the file structure is all about. So let me just do it in the two ways also. So wait, you go to the SRC folder, main folder. There's a demo folder, controller. I need not have to do anything. And wait, and you can go here and you can fix that error. There's a controller. There's a home here. Spring. Sorry, I need to edit it. All right, Spring. What I do is I commit the change. Now there's a new push and there's a new action which has been done. So since I at om controller.java, it's now going to deploy the same thing. So build is happening, deployment is going through. If you cancel this workflow, probably it will not pop up. So let's just wait for a while. I think GitHub Actions is not pretty slow. It's fast compared to the other. Try doing Jenkins pipeline. I tried learning Jenkins and Azure. It suddenly starts breaking sometimes, and it starts giving you the red text, and it's so horrible sometimes. But no ding for them. They are really improving. Build has happened. Deployment has to happen yet. Fine. Let's just push the code and see that one also. So deployment is taking time. Fine. It will take time. It's there to take time. I hope this doesn't break in the deployment part. I didn't know much, so don't break. Oh, 20 seconds, man. It takes time, by the way. All right. Let's see whether the typo has to be fixed, right? Wait. Did I change it actually? Yeah, the typo is fixed. Sorry for that. It takes time in GitHub Actions. Production environment, right? So right now, let me just go back to that repo. Where did I? Okay. Before that, installation part, you have to make sure that you have Maven installed and you have Java versions installed. So for that, what you have to do is follow a YouTube channel, get it done, and I'll show you some tips and tricks because I faced a lot of errors. So you got this environment variable, we can't do anything. So I can't zoom it, man. This is the problem here. So you guys can go here. There's M2 home. There's an home folder, and you have to download the latest Maven version, and you have to install it. So wait, Maven download, and Java SDK has to be downloaded. So you guys can go here, download it, and come back. Just add it through the program file, and then add that space onto your m2.om. So everything will be sorted. And the next thing that you have to change in the user variables is Maven home, and the Maven package has to be written twice, like m2 underscore home, Maven underscore home has to be written, and you have to add that path. Okay, done. And then you have to change the path variable also. Keep that in mind, because don't mess it around. It's still the same, but the catch here is you need to add a bin. Slash bin has been added here. Sorry for small screen. I think I'll make it wide and I can show you. Wait, it's now full screen. So this bin has to be added in order to make your lives more easier. So bin has been added. So now, okay, and sometimes if you add as a user variable, it will not be available, but suggested method is you add it as a system variable, but sometimes it doesn't work, we can't do anything. So what you do is you add the same Apache files here also. You can add it as in same folder which is there in the Apache Maven or anything. You can still work the same, and you can add it in the path here. Oh, I can't edit it. Fine. Let's do an okay and let's just move on with it. So this is what it is. So if you do mvn minus version, it has to give out this entire text. And if you do java minus version, it has to give you this text. Okay, I'll show you where to download this jdk. Java SE kit 16 something. Download whatever you get. Like if you're on ARM is basically the light version of, like, you can work on the MacBook or anything. I'm still in the Windows. So this is what I downloaded. This is what I installed. Don't go for this compressed archive. I think probably all of these are the same. So just make sure that you download this. And everything is done. So let's just go on with, let's go on with the one which broke in the production. Deployment didn't happen, right? See, it's still the same old file structure. It's still the same old thing. It's still the Maven commands. It's still the main function. I've not written the controller here. I'll show you why. Because I just took the template. I just didn't add. I took the mock and I started doing this, and nothing started to work here. But locally it started working, but globally it didn't happen. And if you look at the same repository here, deployment didn't happen at all. If I go here and it's in the home, vi spring 456, and oh, sorry for that, I wanted to show it in the repo, but it takes a lot of time. So it's still saying me that, hey, Java developer, and your Azure functions Azure web app has not been deployed, and what is it all about? Probably there's an misclassification of, like, okay, there's no packages added, there's no things like, okay, there are web drivers which are supposed to be added. That's where these errors come into the picture. You have to be careful when you are building such kind of an application, because everything is a REST client, REST API, which is taken care. There is a controller, there is a service, the service layer. Everything has to be called back and forth, and every controller requires different parameters. So that is where everything has been told here about the POM file, everything that has to be added. Probably if you go there, you need to add these dependencies or the plugins, and everything needs to be started working in the same way. So it's according to the documentation. You can't do anything about it. So that's what it is. And let's just go on with this command lines. Okay, let's just do with the GitHub deployment. Why to waste time? So Spring, and also thank you Poonam for hosting, and save it. Let's look for the command prompt which ran it. Okay, the manifest error which I told you, right? I'll show you one more thing after the command line one, so that you guys can get to know, okay, this is what is happening here. This got built but didn't run locally or globally. Why? It's because there's a no manifest attributes. What manifest attributes means like this? Probably a missing pomel.xml, there's probably a missing package that you have not added, but you have imported on the file. This is what it is. So I did it, but I took a Maven wrapper.jar and I just wanted to show you how this is. I'll be showing it in the later part. So is this the one Azure Developer India? This is the error one. This is the remote package that I was talking about. So this is my second commit, right? First and last commit actually. I'll not be running this one again. So all right, git commit was not being added. Git add has to be added. Sorry for it. Git add, git status modified. So git add all right, this was being done, and why did it pop up? Please enter the commit message. Okay, fine, I don't want you to do that. So main has been set up, git push to the origin main. It has happened. Cool. Oh, this is a different one. This is a different one. It's not the same one. So docker run. Where is this? So many command prompts. Remote repository, right? So many reports. So many reports. Where did it go? Oh, I cleared it off. Wait. Okay. It's still the same. So what we do is we copy the same code, we go to the GitHub repository, and we paste it. This is the baddest practice. Please don't do that. Like, this is the worst practice that you can do, because now it's like 37 minutes. I don't want to waste more of the time. I want more of the Q&A to happen. So I'm jacked up for the Q&A. So do add a lot of questions. And this is in the controller, the home. Let's just add the same old repository, and let's just commit to the main branch. It's been committed. GitHub Actions, what's your status? All right, it's been committed. It takes time. Sorry for it. Or else, if I had done that, it would have taken some more time and it would have been a havoc. So, right now, this is happening. Building takes a lot of time. All right, all right. Take your time, but don't break. All the commands that I'll be talking, this is still there in your quick start from your Microsoft Docs, and you guys can go there. But I'll be explaining it here so that I also felt very misconcepted with like what is it, what is not happening, and everything. So let's just talk about the tech a little while. All right, it's deploying. Cool that it started deploying. Like, let's just close this up. Let's just, oh, it didn't break. Cool. I want you to refresh Spring Boot application. Thank you, Poonam, for hosting this event. Where is that? Committed it, right? It's very tough to handle this, so that's why I just did it off. Thanks, Poonam, for hosting. I've committed it. It should come. Yes, it came. So thank you, Poonam, for hosting this event. So let's just go with the command prompt stuff. So what you do is just go back here, get clone with the same repository that is given in your Microsoft documentation. I will see. How are you? And what you have to do is you have to just go to this GS Spring Boot complete. I'll show you how that file structure looks. GS Spring War. Oh, this is for that one, right? Mm, oh, this is the one. Oh, complete. It has all the files. It has all the source files. You can go to the main. You can go to the examples, the Spring Boot, the same thing. Hello, controller. Oh, I think, yeah. Greetings from the GitHub, from the Spring Boot. All right. Let's just. Greetings. Oh, sorry. Greetings from the Spring Boot, and it has taken the same get mapping, get resources stuff. It has added the same thing. It's still there, the same old repository. You have to go there. And this is where your Maven comes into the picture. You install the Maven because you want this package to come and sit in your local system. I think probably since it has been installed, I don't think even if the commits have been done, the changes have been done, so let's not worry about it. And this is how much the packages go on. So why you write a pommel.xml, mm, gs spring, where are you, pommel.xml? There is Jenkins file, CI/CD. You guys can try that. Literally, you guys can try that. Pommel.xml, project, object, model, and everything. What you write here, all the dependencies, the plugins. This is the best part about it. You guys can add as many plugins as you want. You guys can say, okay, this is running on a Linux based operating system in the backend. You guys can add as many plugins as you want. There's an Azure Web App plugin that has been added. So this is where this entire plugin plays a major role. There are different schema, if you know, if you are a data science, not a data scientist, database engineer, schemas, all your part. And this was actually generated by one script. I'll show you which is that script. This is the script that I'm talking about. So maven.confuse, the Azure, the Maven scripts are here. And let's just move on with it. Where are you? That's a pretty good script actually. That generated everything. I need not had to generate everything from scratch. Everything was being generated there. So takes a lot of time. It took me around 13 minutes to install all this. So that's where I'm not doing it. Not wasting most of your time here. So you guys can ask me a lot of questions. Please do ask me a lot of questions. Wait. It takes time. Horrible. Oh, and there are a lot of Cosmos DB triggers and a lot of things you guys can just the resources get added up like anything. So this is where the Cosmos DBs and everything came into the picture here. Wait, what really happened to this repository? Is it showing me the same thing? All right. All right. This is the. So this was the command which I want to say about. Yes, and it actually started to say, okay, do you want to create a new package and do you want to create a new file? And everything was done through this. And it still remains the same. Oh, this is the one. Git clone, done. Maven package, GS Spring Boot. This is the one more which I was talking about. So when you say that, okay, there's a Maven package here, there's an Azure Web App deploy. It looks for the local repositories. It looks for the pommel.xml, what has been installed, and everything gets installed here. So everything gets done once again and looks for the final checks. And there was a test there in the previous command that I wrote, and now it's getting completed. And now if you see, yeah, here is the test that was being generated. Everything is being documented there. You guys can go back and see it. So see, I even if I had run it in the cloud and there was no Maven package installed and there was no Spring installed, Spring would have been here. And the other packages, the endpoints, the errors, the attributes, everything got done here, and the health checks, the handle, health endpoints, everything. So if you guys can go here, there are a lot of things which have been extracted from the Spring Boot. Every little penny aspects of it was being extracted here, and the Spring Boot.maven repackaging, everything has happened. So now, if you go down, there's an URL here which says that it got generated. So I copy it, I paste it. You guys can paste it in your browser. You guys can tell me whether it's working or not. It will obviously be working. I'll show you the working code here. So it's already been deployed. It still says greeting from Spring Boot. Still the same thing. So what we can do is greetings from Spring Boot and Vishwas. Let's just try this. Hopefully it works. Or else let's just, this takes a lot of time. I don't know why. I think I had already done that here. Where was that? Yes, this is the one. This is the same URL. If I just do this, it still gives me the same thing. So let's just do a deployment once again. Like, let's just save this. Let's just do the deployment once again. What do I have to lose? Let's see if that gets deployed. Scanning for the projects, everything is happening here, and it looks for what has been changed. So there is a source file which has been changed. There has been classes. Everything is getting checked. See, the test happens. The same commands, the same thing. It just deploys the same old application with probably the Vishwas command. Probably think so. If everything is working fine. Oh, what happened? It should come as Poonam. Thank you, Poonam. Where is this application? It takes a lot of time. I don't know why, but it's taking a lot of time. So that's why I did it all prior. All right. There are no other messages here. So let's just wait for that to get deployed. Rerun Maven X switch. Oh, I need to change that every little aspect. Man, I don't want you to break. Let's just leave it like that. Let's just go on with the Control Z. And it still remains the same. Thank you, Mavan. I don't want to touch it and break it. It's working, don't break it. So even though I made an error there, it didn't really pop up here because it knew that that package was corrupt and it didn't start checking. So as I told, like this has already been packaged from Microsoft. I think probably there are some things known as white flagging also pops up. Like I can show you what is that white flagging, white white labeling. Sorry, white labeling in Spring Boot. So white label error is also one of the common things that you see. This is what you see. This is what you see. This is the same sentence which you see, and it says that okay, there might not be an error or a package which is seen, and what is it? The same old commands which pop up. Any queries, folks? I'm ready for all the queries and the questions that you want to ask. I forgot where is the StreamYard. StreamYard is here. Finally got it. Yes. So guys, any questions, queries, do ask it down in the comment section below. And I think Poonam is not here. So any questions and queries, feel free to ask me so that I can try to gain some more insights about the Spring Boot. Any Spring Boot or uh, developers here? Probably. All right. So, guys, thank you so much for being part of this session. And if you guys want any more of the queries and the questions, do connect to us through the LinkedIn so that we can get the query sorted. And also, if you want to be a speaker, do reach out to us so we guys can give you a chance to be a speaker. Probably there is a lot of sessions that we can help you build and so on. So thank you so much, folks. Thank you so much for being part of this webinar, and I'll end the broadcast.